All right. Yeah, I will be donating $1 per death during this run, so people in the chat and people in the crowd, keep track for me. I'm going to do a terrible job keeping track myself, but let's get into it. Going to be running in relax mode. Time's going to start on selecting the here, so time starting in 3, 2, 1. All right. So, this is Super Sami Roll, a game that I'm sure not many of you are familiar with. It's a 2021 3D platformer that takes a lot of inspiration from marble-type platformer games. So, going to be seeing a lot of a lot of influence from games like Chameleon Twist, Marble It Up, that series as well, and playing across, I think about 53 levels across the entire run here. So. Got an estimated time of 1 hour. Oh, geez. Estimated time of 1 hour here. Hoping to do it in about 45. Let's see how we go tonight. But World 1 here, it's a classic, you know, green garden zone. Taking a lot of inspiration from 3D platformer franchises. Mario being the main influence. So you're not going to get a very good look at the map as we go through, but influence from Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES. A lot of lovely pixel art here. And the visuals, really reminiscent of the Super Mario 3D World series as well. Very clear influence there. So I've been running this game for about a year now. SNC_Sector7G. Really fell in love with the game after a video from a YouTuber called Nitro Rat covered it. Where he titled it one of the most underplayed 3D platformers that he had ever reviewed on the channel. I couldn't agree with that sentiment more. It's definitely underplayed. One of my favorite games, quite honestly. Throughout this world, the first world here, really short levels overall, so I'm not going to have many opportunities to talk about the mechanics. But Sami, obviously rolling around his kit. We've got the standard jump. Have the tongue grapple, the ground pound, and you can jump out of the tongue grapple as well. Going to see the first big skip here, hoping to get it. Ooh, not quite. We have about 4 attempts at this. This is the one that I'm most scared of for this run. It can be a run killer. So we may see a few deaths here. So that's 2 deaths, $2 so far. Keep track of it for me at home. Might be here for a little bit, apologies. Oh, getting that camera angle right. Not quite, jeez. I am going to stubbornly do this until we get there. Count that as a death as well. After this level, we're hoping to see a bit more consistency as we keep going here, but this is definitely the one that I was scared of going into things, and that's it. There we go. So I probably did bleed a little bit of time there, but that's one of the really cool techniques of the game, that ledge bounces and the corner bounces lead to some really cool skips across the individual level records. Not going to see much of it in any percent today, but really just wanted to show it off on 1-6 there. All right. Try and remember what's coming up next, honestly. World 1 just goes by so quickly that it's a bit of a blur as we're playing here. So this is a game that's very mechanically deep. Little things that you might see pop up as we play. Holding the jump button actually affects your gravity. So when you're in the air, even after you've jumped, if you hold the jump button, it slows your descent, keeps you in the air a little bit longer. So right now I'm holding A after this checkpoint, and that's going to allow us to float up into this ramp here, which, yeah, skip that. So we've got to skip using the checkpoint there, and then a little bit of mechanics at play there to skip the larger part of the level. So this is a solo indie dev project by Sonzai Games, Japanese-based developer. With the exception of the music, I believe Aveda Music supporting with that. Jeez. Just skip over the whole level of the ground pound there. One of the mechanics at play there, ground pound does send you further the closer you are to the ground at times there. So you really have to time things so Sami is as close to the ground as possible before you let that go. Nice tight grapple there. That can be one that's easy to die on as well. Happy to get that first go. And we're getting close to the end of World 1 here. We are going to see levels get a little bit more complex in terms of mechanics and much lengthier as the game goes on. World 1 gives us a nice, smooth introduction to things overall. As you can see, playing through the levels here, it's a lot of really well-planned routing throughout. We are getting these S ranks throughout, so we are playing on the easiest difficulty, that's relax mode. The differences between the game modes there is relax mode does not have a timer. Both normal and advanced mode does have the timers and allow you to go for better ranks in the levels as well. Advanced mode does not have checkpoints, so it can be quite a challenge to go for runs on advanced mode to also achieve the Maestro rank, the best rank that you can achieve on a level. They require you to essentially break levels and find all these various skips. All the developer intended ones anyways. Very lucky start to this boss fight. This is pure RNG here. So the time in between enemy of the game here, Prince Albert, spawning these missiles is random. Unfortunately, he just ran into this last one here, so we're going to bleed a little bit of time, but not too much. Just have to wait for this last missile cycle. We are following the standard boss rules of threes, so 3 hits and that'll do it. And Prince Albert we're going to see as our main antagonist across the game in the 4 worlds that we're going to be traveling through. So there we go, that's the end of World 1 there. Skipping through this cutscene here. Did kind of breeze over the story earlier. We are trying to save Sami's girlfriend, Vera, who was kidnapped by Prince Albert at the start of the game. Nice little ground pound to skip over the rest of the level there. That was really nicely done. Happy with that. So as you can see, we've moved on from grass, we're on to desert now. We have ice and lava to follow, so things that all fans of platformers are familiar with. Those are main themings that just pop up time and time again. That's why I kind of refer to this game as a marble platformer through the lens of a 3D platformer, because it really does embrace all those tropes. Jeez, the sound of those spikes were a bit bassy, wasn't it? I've never noticed how loud they are before. We are going to have to take this a little bit slower. There are some surfaces in the game where the ground pound kind of halts your momentum. That's one of them, these brick surfaces here. I'm not sure why that's the case, but if you could ground pound through that, make it a lot faster to cruise through, but just taking it slow there. And we are going to see things get a little bit more complicated. That's quite loud in the sound effects. Jeez. Hopefully that's not affecting you all at home as well. Alright, I'll be a bit wary about pipes from now on, ho. So as I said earlier, I've been running the game for about a year now. Started out trying to push myself in the individual level category as much as possible. At my peak, I had records on 73 out of 78 of the levels on Sami. There are 2 characters in the game, which I may have time to briefly show Vera, our secondary campaign, at the end of the run, depending on how we go. Fingers crossed we have a good run of it. We'll see. That's a bit of a risky one there. I feel like the game almost stutters because it expects you to die. I don't know if that's the case or not, or if it's just me imagining it, but I always feel like I'm taking a deep breath just at the start of that jump there. Now this is one of the favourite runs in the small Sami speedrunning community we have here. Recent strategy that's sort of been used in the 90%, got the cactus jump coming up. So we're going to be using that to skip a big chunk of the level, hopefully. Got it. Hopefully get across. We did it. So that can be a big 10-second time save getting that, but if you do die, it's almost impossible to go for it a second time at the checkpoint there. And I feel like we're sort of at the point now where the difficulty is going to start ramping up. It's a bit noticeable on some of the levels in World 2, and then we're going to see a dramatic spike in World 3. So, still got a few levels in World 2 to get through, but we'll see how we manage. Now, in preparation for my run at PAX here today, I did stream for quite a long time and managed to take the world record not too long ago. Only by a 10-second margin, but I pushed my PB from 46 minutes to 42 and 20 seconds in preparation for this event here. So hopefully that preparation pays off here today. I'm hoping to get a good run for you here. But really more so, I'm just excited to be sharing this game with you all today. I think it is a really fun game to sort of push yourself. The ranking system at hand, and the way that the game is sort of timed on each level, I think really encourages people to learn how to speedrun the game naturally, and it's what made me fall in love with it, playing it casually through the first time myself. So more than anything else, I hope my run here today encourages at least some of you at home, or oh, that's a death, count that one. Encourages some of you to maybe pick up the game yourself. Just focusing up a little bit here. So in the bottom left corner of the screen there, you might have seen a golden owl. One of the mechanics at play here is we do have secret exits on some of the levels. And I'll show off very, very briefly at the end of this run what those secret exits eventually lead to. But that's 3 extra levels each world, some of them being the most difficult. Ooh, just missed a skip there, but, well, not a skip, but a bit of a boost. So that's alright, we'll just run through. Gonna get speed ramp here, hopefully make our way through here. Just missing that one, but it's better to go back for it. And through the black fog, difficult to sort of see what's coming up next. So if you're a little bit off cycle, you just sort of have to, you know, improvise a little bit. That is a level that can be hit and miss in an 80% run. If you get that that ledge boost at the start there, you'll be speeding through it, but otherwise, 30-second time there, it's not so bad. Gonna be holding jump to get as high as possible. Ooh, just missing that. Hopefully, oh god. Just made that. I don't think I even saw the grapple line pop up. That's alright. We're approaching the end of World 2 pretty quickly here now. Might be a good time to read any messages or donations here while I sort of struggle through this one. The grapples can be a little bit awkward, so if any messages come through, feel free to read them through now.
Fantastic. Well, I'll take this opportunity to remind everybody of who we are and what we're doing. We are AusSpeedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. For this event, we're raising money for Game On Cancer, a charity that funds early career cancer researchers who work across all areas of cancer research. If you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ausspeedruns.com.
Alright. This will be our last level before the boss fight for World 2. And you're going to notice, as we get into the next level, the boss worlds follow a pretty standard format. And in fact, we have familiar themes across every world in some of the levels. So boss fights are these big tower sections. Sort of have auto camera here, and the lava slowly rises to come and get you. We're of course going to ignore all that and just climb the tower using Sami's grapple. But you may have noticed some other theming across the level as well. So we almost have like a pinball theme in some of the levels. There's raceway levels as well. I'll start pointing them out as we get into World 3 here. This one we're just going to pop on Albert's head for a little bit here. He's going to pop out some mines for us in a second. So we'll line ourselves up for this last one and just let him run into it. And then again, playing rule of threes here. 3 hits and then we're out of here. That's 2. He's going to probably spin here. I wasn't able to get out of the way soon enough, so losing just a little bit of time. But in terms of boss fights, this one has the least amount of RNG. Nice getting a Steam achievement there. That's World 2 done, and we're on to the tricky stuff here. We're going to see a bit of a difficulty increase. And it starts immediately here. 3-1. Oh, I'm missing that here. So we're going to be behind a cycle in the context of this level. 3-1 is one of the tricky ones. If I can get through this one without dying, I'd be happy. But we're going to do a bit of a strange skip here. And we managed to get across. Look at that. Oh, don't die now, please. Ooh. I tried to be cheeky, make it through, but that's fine. That's so much better than dying. Bleeding a little bit of time there. So we've got new theme here, ice theme, new enemies at play. One important thing about this game is that you cannot attack any enemies, you can't damage them. Enemies are purely obstacles for Sami to get around. And that can be really interesting when we have levels that, you know, we're grappling off the enemies and jumping out of it in order to speed up our times. I might just do a little... I'm a little concerned about my speed here, so I might just pull back a little bit because I'm not going to be able to make this jump without speed. I think that's a reset. Yeah, that's a death. Just wasn't building up enough speed there on the ice. But we are going to see the mechanic of grappling onto enemies. Jeez. Throwing me through a loop here. Alright, let's try again. That'll do it. Oh dear. We are going to see the mechanic of grappling onto enemies to skip through various sections of levels very soon. World 3 probably has the best example of it. It's going to be an auto-scroller later, coming in later. This here, I'm holding jump right now. So on this ramp, Sami's gravity just pops him all the way to the other side without having to bounce on any of those balloons. Oh dear. Alright, not quite getting the cut I wanted, but this is fun. And balloons. The balloons physics can be a little bit janky at times. You don't see it in many levels across the any % category, but it's fun when they pop up. Make that across here. Let's go. And you may have noticed, yeah, these times on these levels are starting to ramp up. We're getting to 30, 40-second times. This level is one of the longer ones. This is going to be a minute here. And just trying to make our way up here as fast as possible. Alright, I think we've done well here. Very strange the sound effects for that is a little bit louder than everything else. So we're going to just ignore these, pop over the side here. Onto our last section on this level here. Again, one of the longer ones. And we're doing 2 ground pounds here to get a little bit of extra height on that second ground pound. Oh dear. Yikes. I guess some technical issues because I've lost visuals for a second there, but I think we're fine. No, we're all good. And this would look pretty familiar. Very similar to the boss fight levels, just climbing up the tower as fast as we can. They do have these ice spikes here to prevent it, but we're going to ignore that. And Sami's getting through here unscathed as we approach the owl once again. I know there is a name for the owl, but I struggle to remember it. Alright, this is one of the more interesting skips we have here. We're going to do some ground pounds. And if we get it right, or not quite. So we have a backup strat. Backup strat uses a mechanic that offsets Tammy's tongue. So I'm trying to set this up here. Just not quite getting it, unfortunately. Wow, this is taking me a long time here. Alright, I might go for the normal route. Ah, not quite. Alright, let's try this again. That's not working. Alright. Oh, I think we'll get across here. There we go. Oh, missed it. All right, hopefully this time. There we go. One of the more difficult skips, and one that I was worried about, admittedly. I thought I was safe with the backup strat, but not quite getting it tonight. All right, I am not feeling dangerous here. I'm going to take the spring. Just want to get out of here as fast as I can. All right. So we are on to auto scroller level here. This probably has 30 seconds of some of the trickiest platforming that we're going to be doing in this run, followed by a minute of practically nothing. So once we get past this first platforming section, if there are any donations or messages coming through, feel free to read them out. But starting up, we're going to be jumping right here onto these guys, jumping across onto our little trapeze, over here, trying to skip as much of the auto-scroller as possible onto the birds. So we go 1, 2, and 3. That's it. There we go. So a little reset at the checkpoint there, and yeah, we are basically free from here. So if anything's come through, feel free to read it out. We're just going to be chilling out.
Beauty. Well, we have a $20 donation from Anonymous, who gives a very insightful no comment. It's a good time to remind you of our donation incentives. Now, the run coming up next, Sonic Origins Plus. There is a donation bid war for the co-op partner. Lacy Stripes is in the lead with $224, but Sten is not far behind on $138. And then a little bit closer, there is Kenora, who is behind at 52. Now, I see Lacy. She's raring to go. She's warming up. She's getting ready to play as Tails. So what more can we do for her than to completely take the wind out of her sails and make Sten do it instead? Get your donations in. Make sure you put Sonic Origins plus Sten into your donation message, and we will get a wonderful, wonderful viewing next run.
I do hope someone's been keeping track of the deaths for me as well, because I've kind of lost track here. Had quite a few there in 3-7. I'm going to take this a little bit slow here. If I had got a better ground pound at the start there, we would have been able to skip a cycle. So that does lose us about 4 seconds, not so bad. And again, abusing the checkpoint system there to save a little bit of time. And this wind mechanic here, gonna see us cross all the way to the other side. Oh dear, that's terrible. I might have to chill out here. I'm happy to save it, but that bounce did not do us any good. All right. So this next level's kind of a breather before the more difficult end to World 3. We're not going to get many breathers left in the context of this run. World 4 definitely has some tricky stuff coming up. And we still have some new mechanics to see in World 3 as well. I think the first of which we're going to see in the next level here. I'm not sure if these have popped up so far in any percent route, but we've got nice blinking platforms here. I've done a nice jump there to speed things along. I think we're going to be on the platforms on the left. Yep, here we are. Really important to keep track of your pace with those kinds of things. And these penguins can send you absolutely flying, so need to avoid those at all costs as well. Oh, slowing down. Building on that, we have the blinking platforms in a vertical position there, so just walling you out in that section. This next half of the map here is one of the ones that I really don't want to be playing on from a checkpoint, so hoping to make it through without dying. I might wait one cycle here. 1, 2, we're going to jump across, grapple here, grapple to that one, and that puts us right at the owl. So just skipping over some of the platforms there. But yeah, we're not done with the mechanics. Got icicles coming from the ceiling now as well. And this is the level that really tests your precision on the ice physics as much as possible. So controlling Sami, I think watching it you can't really get a feel for how it plays. I think if you've played marble type games you might be more familiar with it. But it's, you know, it's very unlike your standard, your Marios that are just running. There's a sense of momentum there that I really love about this game, and it's what... Oh, come on. Might have to curve around the normal way. I tried to take a faster line, but it's just not worked out for me here. But that sense of momentum, I think, is something that makes this game feel really special. I have never actually speedrun a game before playing this one. I've always really loved the speedrunning community. You know, have watched a few marathons myself. But, you know, my first time here, I've never been to one before. And this was the game that made that change in me, I suppose. You know, but I think I've been bitten by the bug. I've been getting into some other games recently as well, and I've got a few on the radar that I want to learn. So who knows, maybe you'll be seeing me next year with a new game. But no, maybe I should be focusing on the present and getting through this level here. Last mechanic of World 3 that we're going to be seeing here. Got a ghost girl. I cannot remember the name, I apologize. Sort of trails you, almost, ooh, not quite making the wall jump there. Very similar to the Comet coins in Mario Galaxy. I think a few other games have similar mechanics. Celeste does it as well, I'm pretty sure. So we've used the checkpoint there to clear out that ghost. Hopefully we're not going to be seeing it again. Oh, we are going to be seeing again, unfortunately. I landed funny, so I wasn't able to jump there. So that does make this next section a little bit more difficult because I now have to curve this mushroom around. Thankfully, the fire trails aren't long enough that it becomes a problem, but, you know, just something to be mindful of. With that, World 3 done. Not so bad, honestly. Had a couple of problem levels, but I think we're doing well so far. Do we have the death count available? Does anyone know?
I have 11 currently. 11,
okay. Important context for people at home. One of the other runners for this game goes by Quillinol the Fish. I just call him Quill. I can't ever remember the full tag anyways. Recently had a speedrunning marathon of his own, not too long ago, and made the same challenge, $1 per death for the game. Ended up walking away with 50 deaths. That's $50 right there for charity. But yeah, there can be some tricky stuff. There are levels here and there where you can just get stuck on it. And I'm honestly pretty happy with how World 3's gone. Besides 3-7, a shame we couldn't get the backup strat. I'm not sure what was going on there. That's really interesting. Normally getting damaged by Prince Albert does damage him back there, but that's not worked on any of the times I've done that. I've never seen that before. This is a level that can give you some trouble. I normally dart back here to get a bit of momentum. We're going to try to make this jump. There we go. I've made it look easy, but that is a very tricky one to sort of get through. In fact, I had a run that went deathless until this level not too long ago. And I think I died 7 times on this level, followed by a full 2-minute time loss on the next level that we're going to see here, 4-4. Which I think is probably one of my favorite levels in the game. Just aesthetically really nice. All right. I feel like we're breezing through it here. But here we go. World 4, again, seeing the difficulty increase. And this one is no exception. This is a level that gives runners trouble all the time here. I'm very tempted to go for a cycle skip on this one, but I might wait it out just a little bit, just for safety. Got these blinking platforms, you know, the rain coming down. Oh god, I might be dead. Yeah, unfortunate. Just missed the grapple as I was approaching that platform there. Yeah, you try not to jump on the storm platforms as much as you can, because you do always run into that risk of getting hit. So the proper way to do this here is to just... Oh, no. Oh, dear. All right, that's another 2. I am very glad I prefaced this by saying that that run lost 2 minutes on this as well. You can see how it happens. It's a very long start up here. I mean, we've got the checkpoint on the other side here, but this is the appropriate way to do it. You grapple across. Less of a risk doing it that way. Unfortunately, I have died twice there, but oh well, not much you can do. But still have some tricky things to do at the end here. Now, we're not going to take this pipe. We're going to jump on top of it here, because we're going to do a very long jump across, skipping another auto-scroller section there to make our way straight to the owl. There we go. Boy, that was a quick approach there. I do go for a ground pound there. That can sometimes give you a little bit of ledge boost. Not always beneficial, mind you. And we're going to try to ground pound on this balloon in a way that gets us across here. I've not quite made it across, so I have to do a bit of grapple there to get across safely. But there you go, that's the owl. We are skipping significant sections of the levels here. And we have some greater examples of that coming up. We do have a level here with auto camera, so I'm not going to be able to change my camera angle for this level, which can lead to some interesting tricks with the camera coming up. There are a couple of these over the course of the game. Oh dear, curved out too much. The boss levels are all auto camera. We play mostly manual camera in the speedrun community. There are people who do play with semi-automatic, which sort of follows Sami behind as you're playing. Anyone who plays with semi-automatic camera is a psycho though, and I just want that to be known to everyone here. I've tried it myself and I don't have much luck. We're counting that one as a death here. I do like being in control of the camera as I play. It just makes it much more comfortable to make your way through these levels. Since a lot of the time you're going for some really precise grapples, some really well thought out routing options. So I'd like to have as much control of it as possible. We're not going for the checkpoint here. If that backfires, we can laugh about it later. And just grappling up these spike platforms here. There we are. Alright. Getting into some of the more serious levels here. Another long one for us. And a level that's only recently been really well optimized, I would say. So we're going to cut across here. And if I manage to time this correctly... That's pretty good. That's about a 4-second time save over the previous strats. Ooh, which I'm steadily losing. So I will say this is a game that any percent, you know, you can go for these longer, 45-minute plus runs normally. Really test your ability to play on each of the levels. But the individual level categories, I think are where the game is cracked open. So there's a lot of mechanics at play that we're not seeing in the 80% category. I mean, a lot of the levels in the game... Oh dear. A lot of the levels in the game require the use of these ledge bouncers to make it across. Yeah, unfortunately the pole there does not like to be wall jumped on. So it leads to some janky collision like we just experienced there. That was probably a bit of a poor run of it, but we're up the this game's version of TikTok clock, I would say. Up the top here. Alright. Now this one here. The skip that we're about to do saves more time than any other skip in the game. This level is about a 2-minute run, but doing this jump can knock your time down to less than 20 seconds. Unfortunately, have missed the first one, but I think we're getting into the second. There we are. So that's probably saved about 1 minute 30 seconds just doing that that setup there. Using the boost from the ground pound on the fence and a well-timed jump on the fence there to make it across with the momentum that we've saved there. This is a more relaxing level as we get into the harder stuff. Maybe our last opportunity to read donations if there's anything that's come through.
For sure. We've had $10 from Grubby D, who's saying, loving the speedruns. Can't wait to be there tomorrow. Grubby D running Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, tomorrow in the afternoon.
Best of luck to them. All right. We have our last 2 levels before our boss fight. And this is probably the peak of the game in terms of difficulty. I think this level, in the sense of a casual run through, is a big point of pain for players. Oh dear. I'm behind a cycle here, it looks like. Alright, that's totally fine. That's less than fine. Alright, we're gonna have to... Oh, damn. Just mistimed it. Unfortunately, with this level, it's really important to execute everything exactly. Unfortunately, when I landed on the box before, I wasn't able to jump out in the way I normally would. But if you are really strict with yourself, it can make this a bit easier to get through. But you basically need to follow your plan exactly. Any minor changes can really ruin this level just because that lava wave just comes for you. Hope everyone's added that extra death as well. I'm not sure what the count is at now, but... Oh, no.
17 now.
17 now with that one. Hopefully not getting a bit too rich for my taste, but... I mean, hey, Quill donated the 50. I suppose we take 17 as a blessing, but I almost feel like that's not enough. Do we need to maybe top it up a little bit? I'll just throw a few deaths in there for the pure charity of it. Gonna reset there just to fix our cycles up a little bit, makes this next section a little bit more consistent. And as we're jumping here, got nice little lava eels, couple of ounces, and that's us done for this one. Now, 4-14 coming up next. I often cite it as my favorite level in the game. I think this is a beautiful level in terms of how it's designed because it is very open in how you play through this. There are lots of really interesting routing options. So we have all the mechanics at play here, and you get to decide which ones you want to interact with. I am skipping a checkpoint here as well, so hopefully that's not going to backfire. Got the thin rails here, really testing your precision around these corners. And I'm going to be cutting across these corners as much as I can. Alright, get that bounce. We're going off the ledge here to line up this bounce onto the trapeze. And hopefully curving out right here. That's the checkpoint. I feel much better about things now. And again, straight through the fog. Oh, not quite. Making it to a safe position. Alright, we're going to retry there. That's another death. I did joke about throwing away a few deaths, but wow. Oh dear. Alright, hopefully that's us done here. We're gonna have to curve out a little bit on these, but it should be a straight run into the L. There we are. Now, should only be a few minutes away from time here. Last tower. So once again, climbing up this one as best as we can. This one's a little bit trickier to sort of navigate through. But interestingly enough, no boss fight here. So we do have the L. No, the boss fight in World 4 does have its own separate level. So coming into that now for the final showdown. And this is another one where RNG comes into play quite a bit. So we may need to reset a couple times at the start of this fight, depending on the attack patterns we get. But what we want to do here is we want Prince Albert's octopus machine here to slam down on these. So a couple retries there to get the attack pattern that we want. And slam onto that. So time is going to end when that fourth attack lands. So we've got 4 in total. So as we're approaching the end of this run, ooh, didn't recognize that soon enough there. Hopefully still have time for the attack to come through. Yeah, there we go. That's 2. As we're approaching the end of this run, I really want to encourage anyone who has maybe shown some interest in the game, pick it up. I think it's only $20, Australian dollars that is. So it's a cheaper one. 78 levels in total, a lot of value out of it. I think it is a really fun speedrun to learn if you want to just toy around with it. Great casual game as well. Onto our last hit here, so coming up to time. If we make it. Every chance I can die. Alright, we've got one more cycle of missiles to get through. Hopefully should be okay here. But 3, 2, 1, that's it. Alright, how did we do? 46, that's not bad, hey? We can't skip the credits here, but since we're ahead very slightly, if it's okay, I'll show off just a couple of extra things in the game while I still have you. On completing the campaign, we are unlocking a second character, so probably shouldn't have skipped through the story. Maybe it'd been good to see that as a little capstone for the game as well. But we are unlocking a second campaign as Vera. Very different mechanics. Playing through all the same levels. Some of them remixed a little bit for her mechanics. So there are people out there that only play Vera in terms of the speedrun. I'm not really familiar with the character myself. Definitely prefer Sami. I really love the sense of speed that you can get and how the grapples all work out. Gosh, I'd forgotten how long these credits were all, but... So if it's okay, I might just show the first level as Vera to show the mechanics, if that's alright. And there you are, Vera's quest mode unlocked. Oh, wrong one. So I do want to shout out SB Cat, the best Vera runner out there. I think has records on every single one of Vera's individual level categories. So instead of Sami's grapple, we have Vera's glide. We still have a ground pound and we're still rolling around. Pretty similar, but we're going to be gliding across to make our way over some of the various obstacles and through the levels, which can get very interesting. I won't show off anything more from Vera, but you know, that secondary campaign is out there if you're interested. A lot of love to the speedrunners for her character. I can't do it myself. I've fallen in love with Sami too much. But I think I'll wrap things up there. Please do get involved through the Super Sami Roll Discord if you're interested in speedrunning the game. We've got a very small but very lovely group of people running the game, and just want to send my love to all of them who may have tuned in tonight. That's me done. You can follow me on Twitter, SNC_Sector7G. I stream on Twitch, Lakey180. Lakey180. There you are. Thank you for having me tonight.
Thanks so much, SNC Sector 7G, for that amazing run of Super Sami Roll. Coming up next, it is the last game of the night. Oh. But Luckily, it is Sonic Origins Plus run by Worcester, and unless we have some last-minute donations, that will have the co-pilot Tails of Lacey Stripes. Get your donations in. We've got about $100 between Lacey and Sten. If you get your donations in nice and quick, you could even maybe get Kenora to be it instead. Donate.AusSpeedruns.com. Chuck your donation message in the chat. I have just been informed this is a live bid war, which means it can change during the run. So get those donations in. Make these people switch around as much as humanly possible.
was a trial. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done, and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. Not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now.
while we're getting set up for the last run of the day, we did have a few donations come in right towards the end there. $20 from Anonymous, which says $1 per death as promised. But then we had $50 from Anonymous, who had no comment. But then we had $50 from some guy named Noops, I've never heard of him before, who says, Sten, get ready to play some Tails. That takes Sten up to $188, which is 60 away from suiting up and playing as the sidekick. Actually, no, my maths is terrible. That's $40.
I'd prefer to stay inside. Maybe you'll find someone else to help you. Maybe Black Mesa. That was a joke. Ha ha, that hurts. Anyway, this cake is great. It's so delicious and moist. Look at me still talking when the science to do. When I look out there, it makes me glad I'm not you. I've experiments to run. There is research to be done on the people who are still alive. And believe me, I am still alive. I'm doing science and I'm still alive. I feel fantastic and I'm still alive. And when you're dying, I'll be still alive. And when you're dead, I will be still alive. Still alive. Still
Just before we get ready to go, we've had a $50 donation from Aggie who says $50 dues to get Sten to be Worcester's sidekick. Woo! Swap him over.